every one of my deals has been different. But I would say that normally sellers are going to, the sooner the better for most sellers. Obviously, they want to get their money back. So minimum 3 years. Maximum I've seen really is like, actually, I've seen up to 20 years. But for the most part, typically between 3 and 10 years is where the seller is going to be getting paid back. The older the seller is, the more likely they want the shorter one, right? They're not going to be around potentially for another 10, 20 years. And so they want to get the money back. And so that is that is the case. So I would say be aware of whatever amount that you're doing. Minimum is probably going to be 3, max 10. And I've seen no interest added. I've seen all the way up to usually half. The highest I see is usually half of what the SBA is doing. That's usually the high.
Right. Now the SBA, one misconception out there is that the SBA lends money, and that's really not the case. Small Business Administration is not a lender, but Correct. They provide guidance to lenders, and they provide, what is it, up to 75% backing on a loan if the buyer goes into default.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're basically for people, especially people that are that are veterans. Think about it like the VA loan on a home loan. Like the VA is not giving you the mortgage, a bank is, but the VA is giving insurance to the bank that if something happens, the bank's going to be made mostly whole to that. So that's same thing with the SBA.
Yeah, I had a really unfortunate one fall through recently. It was like the elite pinnacle of boring businesses.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It was a chemical distributor for car washes, for the car wash industry.
Oh, wow. Yep.
What's the saying? If there's, I forget what that saying is, but if there's a gold rush, sell the picks and axes.
Yeah, exactly.
But this business had been around for going on 30 years, and it was really sad that I couldn't help get this deal pushed through. The husband, it was a husband-wife team, a couple of owners, and the husband unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago during the COVID thing, and the wife was left now running the business. And while she was familiar with it, she had not been running the daily operations. And so now you start to see sales decrease because obviously there's a different level of engagement from that business owner. And so sales were declining, and you can just tell that her involvement in the business was not a hindrance. She was doing really well to keep the doors open, but all of the good metrics were declining for the past 3 years. Whereas it had fed their family for 30 years, now they're just in this unfortunate kind of transition, right? And so now she had taken one of these idle loans during COVID. And what happens with those idle loans is if you ever sell the business, that loan gets called. You have to pay it off. There's no transfer of that loan. And so she had dropped the price of and she's about to turn 80 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
You can understand she's tired and just wants to get out from under this thing.